Yeah, on the animal space, V-I-C-E, cause no vice is strong enough to go against.
What is going on, y'all? It's your boy, Novice. I apologize for the shaky cam. My hands are super shaky right now. I just finished doing my my morning little workout of sorts, staying strong on that. Just doing some push-ups, some pull-ups, some curls, some shoulder press, and occasionally some kettlebell squats, and working on my flexibility. So that's all been going pretty well. I don't have a lot of time today, but I did want to throw out here real quick. My eyes look terrible. I didn't sleep very well last night, and I think there's some allergens in the air, maybe, because my eyes are super irritated today, as you can tell. But I was going through editing some videos and realized just what a backlog of journal entries I have. So rather than sitting down and making a full journal entry today, I want to go ahead and just upload all of these unedited journal entries. Like I said, this is just a collage, mashing them all together in one video as a backlog. So feel free to put them on in the background. Just let them play out one after another. I'm going to do them in chronological order, but like I said, there's absolutely no editing done on all of these. I was in a pretty dark place when I recorded most of these, so take it all with a grain of salt, but I hope you enjoy. Hey guys, before we get into this video, I just wanted to film something from the future and address the fact that it's been some time since an upload has gone up, and I will explain that in due time. I filmed a full-length video entry today explaining exactly all of that, but that means that you're going to have to get through all of my backlog first before you get to today's journal entry, but it will all be explained in due time. Enjoy the video. What is going on, guys? It's your boy, Novice. I am feeling a little under the weather this morning. I'm worried I got a little bit of a cold coming on, which is always good. My beard's coming in almost like overnight. It's suddenly looking a lot longer. Jesus. Yesterday was a good day, which is always good. Knock on wood. Going for the best streak that I've had in over 2 weeks, if I can make it through today clean. And I'm trying not to put a ton of focus on that. Instead, putting more of my focus on my quest project, my little game that I'm making out of this addiction. I'm calling it the Ultimate Quest. Name is still pending. We're workshopping it a little bit, but I've been able to get past and overcome boredom and stress and my own negative self-talk and the differences in views in our relationship and the screens and negativity at work. And so I've been doing pretty good so far. It's just a couple days, so I want to make sure I can keep adding to that. Something that I think has really been helping is putting the focus on I'll call them like the big 3 pillars in terms of maintaining positive mental health, as well as physical health, and that's sleep, nutrition, and exercise. And usually I'm good at like one or two of those three things, but if I put the focus on one, then the others tend to suffer. Yesterday was the first day that I actually like really can say that I was able to do all three. I was actually eating, and I worked out, and I went to bed at a reasonable time. And those three, like, to be able to say that in one day that I did all three of those things shouldn't sound like a big deal, but I can't remember the last time that I can actually say that I just ate through the day, a reasonable and balanced, healthy diet, as well as exercised, as well as got to bed at a reasonable time. I actually did a boxing circuit yesterday, and I didn't wear my gloves, so a little bit of bare knuckle, and that's why my hand is bruised like that. So that is right now my tentative goal, is making sure that I'm at least attempting to do all three of those things each day. It's a good place to start. I got to get back to work, but please like, subscribe, comment, all that. Remember, you will die, so remember to live, remember to love, and remember truth. I will see you in the next one. Peace. What is going on, guys? It's your boy, Novice. I start every entry or vlog the same way, not just in my actual intro, but then the phrase, because I don't know ever what I'm going to say. I've been reading, as in listening on Audible, listening to this book called Super Communicators, and trying to use the information that I'm learning about to apply it to my communication skills, not just with my work, although it is very relevant in sales and sales training, etc., but more importantly in my relationships and just the way that I just go about my day-to-day, and using that to help me in my recovery process and progress. And this concept that they talk about frequently in this book is emotional intelligence and emotional regulation. And I've heard about these things a lot, and I understand why they're important, and I'm coming to the realization that I have very, very poor personal emotional regulation. I'm pretty emotionally intelligent, objectively speaking, especially in dealing with other people who are not in my personal life, like, let's say, my peers, colleagues, coworkers, the people I'm responsible for training. But when it does come to my personal life, emotional regulation is very difficult for me. And a prime example being, I was in a fantastic mood today. I feel like I've been doing great in just my overall progress and making headway, my addiction recovery, finding motivation and inspiration in creativity to continue doing that. I'm eating. I worked out yesterday. I'm incredibly sore. So I should be feeling really, really great. And then because one unfortunate scenario or situation, I just feel so down. And it's frustrating. The situation is that I want to take a short break from work, just one day, to spend with my wife. We were going to drive down to Colorado. I was getting really excited about it, and talked to my boss about it, and turns out that apparently on that day and that day only, which is the only day that my wife is available, happens to be the day that everybody else in the company is traveling. And so I'm going to be pretty much the only person there that has to hold down the fort. And so that's not going to be an option to take that trip with my wife. And I understand, but I'm definitely frustrated by that because I'm dealing with a lot of stress and anxiety and negativity from the feedback that I'm receiving at work, feeling like I'm being compared to my peers and being told that my body of work is unsatisfactory compared to my peers and that I'm substantially lagging behind. So feeling like I'm being told that I'm not good enough, and then immediately turning around and being told that, well, I need to be a team player and they're really counting on me, and knowing that I'm like the only person that they would ask to realistically do that because I'm going to tell them yes. Because I feel like it's my job. It is my job. It's my responsibility. So it's just really frustrating and really discouraging. I want to make the most of the time that I have here on this earth because I know it's limited. I want to spend it with the people that I love, doing the things that I love doing. I don't want to spend it being cut down and dejected and doing things that stress me out and hurt me and make me feel worse about myself than I already do. So that's what I'm struggling with right now. Trying to keep the focus more positive, more uplifting. I told myself I'm growing the beard out, and then when I start growing it out, it actually looks kind of poofy, kind of fluffy, and I feel like it makes me look a little pudgy. So I'm struggling with that. In my body image, I'm a mess today, guys, which sucks. I was feeling so great this morning, so I'm trying to get back to that. Recapturing the mental with positive self-talk. Got a video edited last night, but not uploaded because I was so tired, and I'm working on making sure that I'm getting enough sleep. So I'm going to go post that video, upload that, and then get back to work. But like, comment, subscribe, you know the drill. Remember, you will die, so remember to live, remember to love, and remember truth. I will see you in the next one. Peace! What is going on, guys? It's your boy, Novice. I am suddenly looking quite scruffy. It's amazing. Over the course of just a couple of days, letting the beard grow out. I don't know. Maybe you can't really tell. To me, I think it looks pretty noticeable. And it's got me second guessing if I really want to keep growing it out until Halloween, because that means we're looking at over an additional month of growth. I think I am going to trim the sides, which I know is already the shortest part of my hair. It's just that really always bothers me when that starts getting long. It starts looking poofy, and I don't know. But I'm going to keep the beard for now. Trim the sides. I think I'm going to go real short on the sides just to create some notable length difference between the beard. Anyway, I'm feeling good. I'm feeling strong. I know I don't look it. Cut me some slack. But I am. I'm feeling really strong right now, all things considered. I'm feeling very, very sore. I woke up this morning and my body felt like it had been hit by a train. But it's been really cool and encouraging that I've had 2 or 3 solid days in a row where not only I been getting enough sleep, I've been eating enough, and I've been working out. So the big 3, I've been doing all 3 of them. And now I want to work on actually doing that consistently. The only routine that I have definitively, consistently turned into a habit since this whole journey started has been my cold showers. And I want to make sure that I can definitively make a lot more of these routines into habits. But been going back to the gym, working out, eating. I'm on about 2,000 calories a day right now. According to my diet plan, I should be hitting closer to 2,500 to 3,000 a day, and that's just it's a push and it's a stretch to even hit 2,000. So we'll see. But when I got down to my lowest at 169, I wanted to make sure that I was eating. So I started eating some more, and this morning I weighed in at 172, which means in theory, I've packed on 3 pounds already. And I say in theory because that's not taken into consideration weight fluctuation and water weight, and, you know, I'm 3 pounds heavier, but I think it's a little naive to say that I've just packed on 3 pounds of muscle and or fat. I don't want to be putting on any fat. As a matter of fact, I still want to be cutting body fat, but I want to be packing on muscle. And most importantly, I feel stronger. I was losing fat, but I was feeling weak, and I feel stronger today. So that's good. These are all good things. I've been continuing to work on my gamifying my addiction recovery. Right now, the title for this game that I've settled on, tentative, pending, working title, is The Ultimate Quest. Because that's what this is for me. It is the ultimate quest. It's been 17 years in the making, and I finally feel like I'm really getting some footholds in this thing. So I've got a card for myself as the main character. Cut me some slack. We're all the main character of our own story. I've got my allies, my support, in the form of a card for my wife, whose name and face I don't think I've revealed yet, and I don't want to until we're living together again and I know that she's on board. I don't want to share any of that without her express permission. There's a card for my brother, who I'm a little less worried about sharing his name and his face, but again, I won't until I have his permission. Because again, these cards, these characters, they're all based on real people that I know. I got a character card for my guy Jesus, because we all need Jesus. He's like this royal cleric, holy type of character for obvious reasons. I've got one for my therapist. I want to create one for both of my parents. Just the allies that I have in life. But it's helping. It's really helping to visualize and conceptualize my addiction and my recovery and my struggles as a game and obstacles to overcome, and no game developer is going to create a game that's designed to be impossible. I know there are some games out there like that, but you know that going into them. Life is not one of those games. God, being the game developer, the creator of the game, he puts enemies in the game, but he also gives you the tools that you need to overcome them, and the allies and the resources. So there's a path to victory. And I finally feel like I'm on that path. It's been going strong the last few days, and I'm dying to keep it up. Oh, also, I did an audit and inventory of my Hawaiian shirts because I'm trying to make sure that I don't do any repeats that I've worn in any of the videos, and found out that there's still a good handful that y'all haven't seen yet. So, like the splash of color. Anyway, I got to get back into work, but like, subscribe, comment down below. I almost said, you know what time it is. Remember, you will die. So remember to live, remember to love, and remember truth. I will see you in the next one. Peace. What is going on, guys? It's your boy, Novice. Just got myself a fresh haircut, and by got myself, I mean I cut my own hair. I don't know if y'all can tell. Kept the beard, because true to my word, growing it out until Halloween, which means right now, for better or for worse, I'm kind of rocking with that modern Viking-ish look. It's super fluffy right now. I still have to shower. Every time I cut my hair, those little short hair, if you've ever, guys, you know. Anyway, so I got all this skin irritation right now. That's what that's about. But I like the fade, although it does show my moles and birthmarks, which I think are kind of funny. But I like how the beard is coming in for the most part. Shaping it when it starts getting longer is always a little bit of a struggle for me. Do I comb it back or do I fluff it out? I don't have those answers. I'm not a beard brand ambassador, although I've always wanted to be one. So beard brand, the Beard Growth Club, whatever. If you're out there, hit me up. I'd be happy to test out some of your products and give an endorsement or give tutorials on beard grooming and shaving, etc. So that's pretty much all I got today. I'm gonna jump into the shower because I feel super gross and covered. That's my body transformation journey right now. I weighed in at 170.8 this morning, and that's with a on average 2,000 calorie diet, working out pretty consistently. I think it might just be the lighting or the fact that I'm on an empty stomach. I hope it comes through in the video the way that I'm seeing it in person, but this might be the most toned and defined that I've maybe ever been in my life. So I'm really liking that, and I feel healthier and happier than I was when I was just not eating. So it's really encouraging to see that I can eat and still maintain a healthy weight and feel happier and stronger. I still got a little bit around the middle that does, of course, bother me, and I get self-conscious about that, but for the most part, like, objectively speaking, I can see that I'm in relatively good shape, and to be able to have that sort of self-love and that sort of confidence in my body is something that I don't want to take for granted, because that has not always been the case for me. I am still going strong on a good streak right now in my recovery. It always makes me nervous. I talked to my therapist about that a little bit, of like, I get scared because the higher that you climb, the farther that you have to fall. So I'm trying to just not put my focus on that, and instead just keep focusing on these sort of kind of daily habits and routines that have been helping me with that. Working on the ultimate quests. That's the kind of gamification that I've made of my addiction and recovery, and it's really been helping. So that's all I got. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe. You know the drill. Still deciding how much I love this this look, but I'm really just waiting for the rest of my hair to grow back. I prefer having it a little bit longer on top. It used to be that I could put it back into a pony or a man bun, believe it or not. Anyway, remember you will die, so remember to live, remember to love, and remember truth. I will see you in the next one. Peace. Good morning. What is going on, Novice Nation? It's your boy, Novice. Consciously working on not starting every journal entry by saying I fell over just now. It's another beautiful day. It really, really is. I love this lighting. The original video, every time that I film it, the lighting comes out beautifully. Whenever I post it and it goes through post-production, these shots always end up being a little overexposed. So if that's how it's looking in the final production, I do apologize for that, but take my word for it that it's beautiful lighting. Got one of my favorite Hawaiian shirts on right now. If you can call it a Hawaiian shirt, I will, because I bought it in Maui, so kind of can't fight me on that one. Love the pattern, love the design, love the colors. It really pops. In high school, I was the type of guy who really, I think it was because I was so insecure in my masculinity that like anything with color I would not wear. So my whole wardrobe was muted neutral tones, but mostly dark grays, browns, and blacks. I wore black jeans instead of blue jeans because I thought they looked badass, and colors for, I don't know. I was super insecure at that point in time. And in many ways, I'm still incredibly insecure, but working on those things, working on the self-love. There was something that I was going to talk about today. And for the life of me, I started talking and now I can't remember what it was going to be. I got my hair cut. Again, when I say I got my hair cut, what I mean is that I cut my hair. So be kind. I think I did okay. I always forget I have this birthmark here. It's not raised, so I guess it's not too much of a concern, but always good to cut it short enough that I can really see it and see if it's growing, see if it's raised, if it's something I need to keep an eye on. I like the look, I think, especially with the beard growing out. I combed it in a slightly different way today. Yesterday, I went full embracing it and let it puff out a little bit more with some more volume. Today, I combed it down a little bit more. I've always struggled just a little bit in the growing out of a beard stages because there are so few guides that walk you through. Oh, this is good lighting for it. But there are so few guides or walkthroughs that give real advice or suggestions on how to embrace growing out your beard. Going way back in my memory, it's been a while since I've watched any of these videos, but there used to be, I don't know if they're still going these days or not, there used to be a channel out there called, I think it was Beard Brand Alliance, Mr. Greg Brzezinski. I don't know, he was like Sexy Santa. This guy was awesome. I don't know if he's still out there, if he's still making videos, but he always had a lot of advice on beard growth techniques and things to keep in mind when you're letting it grow. But plan is still to let it keep growing at least until Halloween. That gives me about a month and a half. Today is September 14th. So almost exactly a month and a half to let it continue to grow. Right now, I keep coming back to calling this the modern Viking look, almost. My beard is not quite at Viking levels. And I always say modern Viking because I've heard that even though that's how a lot of the Viking type guys are depicted now with long beards and long hair on top and shaved sides. I'm not quite at that point yet, but that's what it's headed towards. You know, that's how Viking looking dudes are depicted these days, but historically I don't necessarily think that was quite the case. I was talking to a coworker who claims that more likely than not, the Viking probably, as far as a hairstyle, apparently they were known for being, yes, very sexy and very clean. And other cultures of the time, there were records writing that, like, these guys, there were such problems because they're coming in and raiding our villages and taking our women, and they smell so good because they bathe twice a week. And this is a very different time. And I'm not condoning the actions of these crusaders, but I guess they were known for being sexy. But supposedly the hairstyle that they wore more often than anything was probably something close to a modern day mullet. In other words, functional, because the hair in the back was long enough to keep you protected from sun and keep you warmer, but not long enough in the front to get in your eyes. And so low maintenance, but practical. Now, I'm not going for a mullet. Never plan on that, but I don't know. Never say never, I suppose. Feel a little puffy today, which is never good for my self-image. I'm trying to consciously allow myself to rest on the weekends, because if I don't allow some rest, then I tend to overexert myself, go too far, and then things start to spiral and snowball. I'm actually making really, really, really good progress right now. And I'm super excited about that. It feels really good. It feels like, I said it yesterday, like I'm finally finding my footing again. And that's really exciting. Part of that, I still have to attribute it to this visualization guide that I've been doing. In other words, putting my struggles and my addictions into a medium where I can see it, and it also allows for a creative outlet. And so it's this Dungeons and Dragons style card game-ish thing that I'm creating. It's not actually a game that I can play, it's just a way to visualize these things, and I'm calling it the Ultimate Quest. And I'm having a lot of fun with it. So whatever works, right? Also praying a lot. And it started out being really angry, really raw, passionate prayers that were not reverent or sacred at all. But it felt really good to get that out because it felt honest. And that has been something that, for me, has felt like I've allowed that door and that communication with God to really, really open up. So if you're the type of person who really just struggles with praying because you don't know what to say or how to say it, or you don't think that it's appropriate to say what you're actually thinking to God, well, first of all, I've got some news. He already knows what you're thinking anyway, so you might as well say it. But have that open and that honest connection and conversation with the big man, the game developer. He's got a way for you to win. You just got to have that conversation with him. Even if it's a harsh one, I promise that that'll help. So, speaking of God, I actually got to run to church. Hit that like and subscribe button, if you will. Help me out a little bit. I wouldn't mind it so much. Let me know what you think about the beard. Your tips and tricks on how to let it keep growing and looking sharp and looking natural. All right. Remember, you will die. So remember to live, remember to love, and remember truth. I will see you in the next one. Peace. What is going on, Novice Nation? It's your boy, Novice. I'm in the probably messiest room in the house right now. Y'all don't usually get to see this part of my office. I just didn't feel like hiking my little booty all the way over to the bedroom for the good lighting, especially because after production and processing and everything, those shots always end up overexposed anyway. But welcome back my vacuum cleaner, because there's no better place for it. It's a Monday, and I got a case of the Mondays. No, I'm playing. It's a good day. I feel good, mostly. I'm still on track, making good progress on my addiction recovery. Trying not to get scared of how high I've climbed. Trying not to get flustered and frustrated when I don't even really know how to say this. I guess I was sharing my progress with a group and accountability partners, and sharing what has been working for me right now, which is essentially the concept of naming these struggles and identifying the triggers and how to avoid them, but doing it in a way that is sustainable, creative, and honestly fun. And that's been this this concept of this game, the ultimate quest, that I've put together. And I'm trying not to feel discouraged and dejected by some of the feedback that I got, which was, hey, that's great, that's awesome. I'm glad that you're going on a week clean, which, by the way, is huge because it's been almost a month since I've had that much progress. And so they start off really encouraging, hey, that's good, tremendous progress. And then it turns into this kind of backhanded compliment of, now don't get complacent, don't, because you've shown that in the past, and by the way, this is all true feedback, and I absolutely recognize and acknowledge that. It's good feedback, and it's honest feedback, and it's accurate, that I get complacent, or I get cocky, or I get confident that I've got it figured out, and then I stop doing what's working. But it was just the delivery of this feedback that I was able to recognize what they were trying to say, but it didn't quite land, and it definitely sat with me the wrong way. So I'm trying not to let that just eat me up, and I'm certainly not going to let that be something that gets in my head so much that I allow it to mess me up. It's so windy outside, by the way. I don't know if you can see in just this reflection here, or these shadows of the wind blowing in the trees. So it's Monday, and if I can make it all the way through today, then that's an 8-day streak. I'm cautious and aware of counting these streak days, I know. But also, I'm at an overall victory to defeat ratio of over 70% good days right now. And that it feels good. So I feel good. I feel like I'm making good progress. There's been highs and lows, of course, in terms of everything else in life, in the conversations that I'm having with people. I finally finished the book, Super Communicators. Highly recommend it. I don't know that I've necessarily just magically gotten any better at communicating, but I'm thinking about it more. It's the type of thing where it's like a kind of a humility thing, where now that I've read this book and understand these concepts of communication, now I want other people, I expect other people to do it too, but they haven't read the book, and they so I just have to be careful with that, because the more that I try to push those things onto other people, the more that it sounds or feels like I'm trying to control them. And it doesn't work like that. But communication goes both ways. So all I can do is my part, and I guess try to lead by example in how I communicate. I've had some good success even in frustrating conversations, and even if the conversation doesn't resolve the way I want it to, or even if communication doesn't happen the way that I want it to, I personally have done quite a bit better about not allowing my anger or frustrations to control me in those conversations, and to, for the most part, keep it as conversations instead of arguments or yelling matches. So I do feel like I'm actually making good progress. I keep saying that I'm finding my footing, and I really feel that. So if I can make it through the rest of this week, then I'll officially be on my longest streak. And that's looking ahead a little ways, but my goal is still to be 30 days clean by our anniversary, which is October 14th, which is super doable. Just got to do it. That's it. So, like, comment, subscribe, please. Help a brother out. Remember, you will die. So remember to live, remember to love, and remember truth. I will see you in the next video. Peace. Good morning. What is going on, guys? It's your boy, Novice. I am freezing this morning. It is chilly. Autumn is approaching. It is quite nearly upon us. And I kind of feel like Markiplier in some of his older Mark Makes videos, where the ongoing joke is that he grew up too poor to do anything. Because I almost said that, like, I'm concerned I don't have the money to to turn on the heat right now. But it's very true. Financially, I'm in a really bad space right now, and I'm trying not to let that really overwhelm me, because I was doing some research as part of the group that I attend on Monday nights, and some of this research was showing that for like a normal person, stress can be a healthy motivator to inspire and create change. But for an addict, the stress response has been essentially broken and hijacked, and your body only tends to cope with stress by craving your addiction. So it's not encouraging. You see my little Bigfoot plushie here? That's Eddie. Eddie the Yeti. He keeps me company because I'm lonely at night. So I'm hella stressed right now. Trying not to be. I'm cold. I'm stressed about work. I'm stressed about money. I'm stressed about love and our relationship. I'm stressed about my addiction. I'm doing pretty well. I'm going on like 8 or 9 days clean now-ish, something like that. Trying to continue the best habits to make sure that it stays that way. Working on continuing to like visualize it and focusing on my why, what's motivating me. I want to be a good person. And part of it is for my relationship, absolutely. But it has to go deeper than that. Somebody posed a good question last night, which was, you know, if you're saying that your faith or your religion is your why, or if you're saying that your family is your why, well, then let me ask you, why hasn't that been enough so far? And it feels like a harsh question, but it's honestly a very fair question. And for most people in my situation, it comes down to the fact that, well, because there's more to it physiologically than just motivation. And so it's really taken the steps needed. So something that I haven't talked about too much that has helped me this last week or so has been humbling myself, taking myself down a couple of pegs and going back to reinstalling restrictions and porn blockers on my phone. And I had pushed back about that for some time because I've been able to get past those things in the past. And so I convinced myself that, A, I don't need to do that. I'm strong enough without that. And B, that even if I did do that, it wouldn't work, so there's no point in it. But I went ahead and I did install some blockers that would mitigate that risk. And I'm very pleased to say that I haven't put them to the test yet, and I don't plan on it. But simply knowing that they're there has actually helped in finding the strength to push back and resist temptation when I'm feeling weak or when I'm feeling triggered. And I think that's more what it comes down to, is that I know that it's there if I need it, so it makes me less likely to push it. I don't know if that really makes sense, but either way, I'm still making good progress, and that's good, and that's encouraging, which is good because I need all of that I can get, because my life is very overwhelming and very stressful right now. So I'm talking to God more. Again, it's not always in the most reverent way, more so just like, what the hell am I doing? And I don't say that in a prayer but I'm scared, and I'm cold, and I'm broke, and I'm just trying to hold on. I'm doing my shitty best. Feeling very, very, very stressed and overwhelmed by work and those expectations. I would love to find a new job, something that would be less stressful, easier. But no one's going to pay me what I'm getting paid right now to do something that's easy and not stressful. So that's unlikely. So I guess, I don't know. I don't know what to do. I don't know. Just trying my best. I got to get back to work. But eventually my goal is to be able to make this outlet for me as something that I can do full time and make money doing. Right now it's a passion. I would love to turn that passion into a career. So if you're down to help me out with that, please like and subscribe. It would help tremendously. But either way, remember that you will die. So remember to live, remember to love, and remember truth. I will see you in the next one. Peace. All right. What's going on, guys? It is your boy, Novice. I got to do the thing so you know it's actually me. As if the beard in the Hawaiian shirt doesn't give it away. I am having a bad day. It's been one hell of a day. A really, really shit day. I don't know. I already did my video journal for today, so if this ends up in the same video, cool, it's there. Truthfully, I can't even remember what I talked about this morning. I guess that's a red light. Kind of the point of a video journal is I record my thoughts so that I can look back and remember what I was thinking at that moment. But like, holy, I don't know why I'm censoring myself at this point. I already said the word. Just what a shit day today. And I'm trying to attitude of gratitude. By the way, I'm all about that. I was talking to my wife about this today. Like, I'm really good at finding the little things in life to be thankful and grateful for. There was a rainbow today, and it was so beautiful. And there was a rainbow yesterday, and it was so beautiful. And it's like God's just like sending subtle hints that like, I got you, man. It's okay. This too shall pass. And I know that this shall pass, but holy shit, right now, it feels like so much. It's crazy. So, mostly work-related stress. If it's not work stress, it's money stress, which is directly tied to work stress. And I'm tired of being such a slave to money and to work. That's part of the whole concept of what this channel is about. Is like, do something with your life that you truly actually enjoy. And by the way, there are so many aspects of my job that I really enjoy, that I like passionately enjoy. And that's what I tap into. Well, I'm a sales trainer, by the way, for context. So when I'm teaching my classes, that's what I tap into, is this passion. I get passionate about what I teach because I believe in it most of the time, most of it. And I am really, really good at it. Or so I thought. I'm really good at understanding it. That's why I was invited to teach it, because I demonstrated that I do understand this, that I know the shit that this company expects me to teach now. And I do. I know it like the back of my hand. I know it better than anybody else's business. I'm the bee's knees when it comes to this stuff. And some of that is like a delirious overconfidence, but that's literally what they teach. Like, if you don't believe in yourself, why would anybody else? So I know this shit better than anybody. But the problem with that is, how do you teach that to somebody else? So without getting into any of the specifics of all of this shit, when I'm at the most vulnerable point in my life, when I'm feeling the lowest mentally, emotionally, I'm vulnerable right now, is what I'm trying to say. I never thought of myself as being the type of person, and by the way, I always saw this as a blessing, that I have never been the type of person who has really struggled with mental health. Yeah, I was bullied as a kid. I had, some trauma, but I was well adjusted. It wasn't anything that inhibited me from living my day-to-day life. Oh, and by the way, sometimes when I get stressed, I have this addiction. And it wasn't until I took that away that I realized how much I had used that as a coping mechanism for all of the shit in my life. So I'm on a clean streak right now, which is good, and I'm feeling really good and really strong about it. But holy hell, having a dopamine addiction specifically, and knowing what that's done to the receptors in my mind. I crave dopamine when I'm stressed, because it's a stress response, and it's a critical failure in the way that the human brain should process stress. And for the average human brain, stress in many cases can actually be very helpful. It's a motivator. It's what keeps you doing the right thing. It's what pushes you to meet deadlines. But for an addict, and I can't speak to anybody else's addiction but my own, but having done much research into the specifics of this addiction, having a dopamine addiction like this means that any stress has created a dependency on said addiction. I'm stressed, I'm overwhelmed, I'm being told that I'm not good enough, which is compiling on top of everything that I've already been telling myself, which pisses me off, by the way. Like, this is me almost coming to my own defense right now. Not in like I can't do anything wrong, but in like almost two separate beings. One being the newer, stronger, more determined, and more confident me that I'm trying to learn how to be, coming to the defense and the aid of the broken me who has always been a slave to this addiction as a coping tool because he never felt that he was good enough. And now when that poor kid is trying to get some help and at his most vulnerable state, he is quite literally and directly being told that that's right, that you are not good enough. And I'm not going to stand for it. I'm not going to let this poor kid take it, because I have seen this kid and I know him and I love him, and he doesn't feel that enough and he doesn't hear that enough. So I am good enough. And I love me. And I know that I'm a good person. And I know that I am trying my shitty best. And for now, that's enough. Where I'm at right now is enough. What I'm doing right now for me and my growth and my journey and my healing, that is enough. Because it's more than I have ever done. So fuck what anybody else thinks about it. God, I'm sorry for that. I get conflicted on the swearing thing, guys, to be perfectly honest, because I am working on being honest and just saying what I think. At the same time that I know that's probably not the type of language that the Lord is too pleased with. But to be frank, when there are so many other things that are so much more serious that I need help with, and the fact that I'm opening up a relationship to God again and just being raw and real and open in that relationship, like, I think God will forgive me for that. I know He'll forgive me for that. I love me. I know God loves me. I know my wife loves me. Complicated as that situation is, I know she does. I know my parents love me. And I know that every single one of those people believes in me, and they're rooting for me. And they think I'm a good person, and they believe that I can do this, so I'm gonna do it. work be damned. If I can keep this job and I can keep making money doing it, awesome. But I'm not going to kill myself bending over backwards trying to fit into some box while there's so much other shit that, let's be honest, is so much more important in my life right now. There is more to life than money. There is more to life than working. Love and relationships. And I firmly believe that if you put your focus on those things first, everything else will fall into place. That's not me saying that I'm just going to give up and stop trying at work, because I have been trying. I've just been trying to also balance it out with not... Here's the reality, guys! Sorry, I shouldn't have yelled at you. You didn't deserve that. But the reality is that the entire time... I've been in this job for 3 years. Confession time. I hope my employer never sees this. I've been working at this job for over 3 years now, and I have been struggling with my porn addiction the entire time. And because I work from home, it's so easy to do that from home while I'm on the clock. And never had that been an issue, my work ethic to be questioned, glowing accolades, glowing remarks, rapidly promoted, whatever. I shift my focus to, maybe I should stop watching porn at work on the clock, and maybe I can find something more healing and more productive to be doing. Obviously, the easy answer there is, well, yeah, you could work. I try. I get very easily overwhelmed and stressed out. And my only outlet for that, to this point in my life, has been turned into my addiction. I will not do that anymore, because I'm stronger than that. So, where do I turn instead? Well, sometimes it's escapism. And there's a time and a place for that. And I recognize that the way that I have been using that escapism, for me specifically, YouTube. Whether that's filming, editing, uploading, or watching. I find a lot of peace and a lot of escapism in YouTube. And I try to do it as responsibly as possible. If I'm in a meeting, I'm in a meeting. And I'm locked in and I'm focused on that. If I'm having a conversation with one of my trainees who needs my help, I'm locked in and focused on that. But if there's downtime in between meetings where I'm just stressed as hell, that helps. It helps me. And maybe I need to figure out a better coping mechanism, but I can think of worse. So to me, that's growth and that's progress. So sometimes it's escaping into YouTube. Sometimes it's working on other creative projects that are in some way, shape, or form related to the channel, and or anything else that's helping me with my growth in overcoming my addiction. So what that means is that some of my responsibilities for my job do take a little bit of a back seat. Now, that being said, I am always getting everything that is required of me done for my job, as far as the actual check the boxes, at least going through the motions, doing what I'm asked to do to the best of my ability in the way that I'm asked to do it. The problem is that with everything that's on my plate, that my production numbers are not where my higher-ups are wanting them to be. And so, what do you do in that situation? Whose fault is that? And this is just a thought experiment, me venting some of my frustrations. If my subordinates are not hitting their metrics, that's on me. That's what I'm told anyway. That if they're not improving, and if they're not getting better, and if they're not selling, and if they're not hitting their numbers, that's my fault and I have failed them. But if I am not hitting my metrics and my numbers, that's not on the person I'm subordinate to, that's on me. Because I'm clearly not doing what I've been trained to do or what I've been told to do. And that's my fault and I need to take accountability. So it's this fucking ridiculous that it all arrows point at me. And generally, I am big on self-accountability. Matter of fact, if you've been paying attention, I just went on a long tangent explaining exactly why I have not been able to put my best into my work. I admit that. I acknowledge that. I recognize that because of that, my work is suffering. But the double standard of the blame game, I'm so over it. I'm so done with it. So I'm going to keep doing my best that I can with work, being there, being present, checking the boxes. I'm going to do all of that, but I'm not going to kill myself for this job. I'm not going to kill myself for an income. I got to keep making ends meet at the very least through October, ideally until the end of the year. But if I can find something else that is going to be mentally less taxing, that's what I'm going to try to do. So, sorry for the rant, you guys. I know that's highly specific and really doesn't have anything to do with a lot of what I usually post on this channel. So for that reason, I don't know. This might be a separate video all on its own, just as a rant. I'm getting a call though, so I gotta let you go. Remember to like, comment, subscribe. Please help me out. Remember, you will die, so remember to live, remember to love, and remember truth. I'll see y'all in the next one. Peace. What is going on, y'all? It's your boy, Novice. I'm still cold. Days are getting shorter, getting colder. I'm a glutton for punishment because I keep recording these videos and I have not been able to make as much time to edit and upload as I typically like to. Usually I can get a single journal entry edited and uploaded in just one day. But sometimes I have to put a little bit more focus into work. And that means that my passions don't get to flourish as much. So if you watched yesterday's rant, you'll know what I'm talking about. My hair is doing something weird. I don't know. I don't have much today. I am feeling better than I was by the end of the day yesterday, and I really have to give a huge thank you to my wife for really showing that sort of love and support that I needed at that time, because, man, I put so much of my worth, or my perceived value and worth, into what other people think about me, specifically what my employer thinks about me and what the performance and metrics say about what they think about me. And then lo and behold, one of my colleagues calls out sick today, and who do they tag in to take over a new group? So they need me. They can say that I'm not doing good enough, and I can take that to heart, or I can brush it off and say I'm doing my best. So I'm doing my best. Still going strong, which is an amazing feeling. Beating the triggers, the temptations, the withdrawals is really what it is. And I have been experiencing some withdrawals the last few days, but finding the strength, the why to push forward. I'm doing this for me. I'm doing this to get better. And I've got a deadline now of October 14th. I want to be at least 30 days clean by that date of October 14th. So I'm working on it now, and I'm feeling good, feeling strong about it. Don't have a ton to go over today, but just making sure that I'm maintaining this as a habit, even if I'm not uploading them as often. God, you can't change anything with your routine. I put some extra shit in my hair this morning, and it's just making it, it's just, I don't know. Whatever. Thank you guys so much for being here, viewing, liking, commenting, subscribing, ringing the bell, all that. Remember, you will die. So remember to live, remember to love, and remember truth. I will see you in the next video. Peace. What is going on, guys? It's your boy, Novice. I am still wearing my headset because I'm at work right now, and I'm actually late for a meeting, but I have been putting this off, and I'm trying to make sure that I always get some sort of a video entry done each day. I'm hopefully going to be able to come back and record a little bit more, but still going strong on my streak, which is awesome. Working out, which is awesome. I hurt in every way imaginable, but hopefully it's going to be worth it. I also found an app that's, it's called Tolan? I don't know. It's like a little AI alien therapist best friend type of a thing. Honestly, it kind of reminds me of Ugly Dolls, but they talk to you, and this is what mine looks like. I don't know if I'm going to be using this thing on a daily basis, but it is interesting having something to like actually talk to. We'll see. This might go the way of the dinosaur pretty quick, but I really got to run. I want to be able to come back and do a little bit more of this. I am freezing. I'm all over the place, trying to survive one day of work at a time. Stressful. It's shitty. I'm trying my shitty best. Trying not to get so stressed that I feel so overwhelmed. I'm super triggered, but fighting through it. I gotta go. But please like, comment, subscribe. Remember, you will die. So remember to live, remember to love, and remember truth. I will see you in the next one. Peace. Hey, yo, what is going on, guys? It's your boy, Novice. Don't do this and drive, I guess, would be a good piece of advice. I just dropped you. Headed to the gym now. Just wanted to be able to get a little bit more done in terms of like an actual video journal. Trying to get my thoughts. The little alien AI therapist bot, it's probably not here to stay. I I did a little bit of talking to it, and there was nothing wrong with the insight that it was giving. A lot of it is stuff that I've already heard before, and it's a good concept. There's something there. Just having a cute little alien-looking thing that you can share all your problems with, and it's always going to listen. But, like, I've been using ChatGPT for that for years. Not years, but for a good amount of time. And that, I've talked about this before, that's actually what encouraged me to start talking to somebody real about my problems. And I guess, I don't know, I don't necessarily feel like I need that anymore. I found myself kind of just nodding along and tuning out and like, yep, okay, that's not a bad thought. That's not what I'm doing right now, though, because I'm on a different track or trajectory. I've got different things in place, and I've just, I don't know. Like I said, I can see the application for it, and I can see for the right person it being very helpful. I would love to see it polished up a lot more. The AI voice for it is pretty generic, and I guess that's part of, for me, why it wasn't really landing, because it very definitely did not feel like a real person, because it's not a real person. And that's the thing with any AI anything, recognize that it's not a real person. So yeah, I'm probably not gonna consistently keep that on my daily to-do list, but it was interesting. It was fun to play around with. Got another work vent that I want to go off on. Not like I did yesterday. It's not to that degree. But God, I am so sick of being told, just be yourself. I get this from so many different sources. I've been told that I'm a chameleon, that I'm a shapeshifter, that I'm a people pleaser, and a lot of that has absolutely been true. And now that I'm trying to work my way out of a lot of that, I just keep getting told, just be yourself. And I don't know who the fuck that is. I don't know what it is that people want to see or hear when they say that. And that's like the point, and I get that. They're like, oh, stop overthinking it. It's not about what I want to see from you. Like, what do you want? Just be you. And especially in the context of my job, that is absolutely infuriating, because I get different feedback on any given day of the week that seems incredibly contradictory. Where one day it's that we have to be more kind and aware of our advisors, the trainees. We have to be more aware of their feelings, and we have to be human and treat them like humans, and we have to remember that it's not all about numbers and metrics and whatever. And then I'm told that, you know, these people are soft and it's your fault, and if anybody quits or is let go due to numbers and metrics, that's on me, and I should take that personally because I failed them, and it's because I'm being too soft on them, and I have to stop sugarcoating things, and I have to dumb things down, because not everybody is as spectacular with their vernacular as I am. And it's just the most frustrating feedback. Like, I have to dumb myself down because the way that I speak, I guess, is too advanced for the average employee that's walking in through the door. Well, then that's not being me. That's dumbing myself down so that I can adapt and meet other people where they're at and learn how to communicate with lots of different styles. Which is fine. Like, if that's what you want me to do, say that. But that's not just being me. And this one particular manager was basically saying that, look, you're a very clean-cut guy, and I know that you feel like you have to be professional, and that's great, and I love your positive energy, but it comes across as fake because it is fake, and I know that that's not how you are at home. I'm like, Boy, you don't know, because you don't know me. And he said, well, there's a side of you when you log off this computer that you just get pissed and you vent and you cuss and you cheer for a football game. Like, that's what these people need to see. They need to see that you're real and authentic and genuine. I'm like, okay, the type of positive energy that he's talking about is genuine. And I know that because I use that when I'm filming these videos all the time. And yes, I'm aware that potentially one day there might be an audience for that. But there's not right now. There's no audience whatsoever. It's just me talking to my phone. Good morning. What's going on, guys? It's your boy, Novice. Like, that's not... Maybe I'm lying to myself. I don't know. I don't feel like that's ingenuine. I feel like that's just me being energetic. And I'm generally a pretty energetic guy. I've got good energy. I enjoy positive vibes. I put love and compassion first. I like to be a good, decent person. That's what I'm trying to be. I've talked about that extensively. It's kind of at the core of who I am. Now, do I get pissed sometimes? Do I get frustrated sometimes? Yeah. What does he want me to just pull people in and start cussing them out? I'm like, no. And I know that's not what he's saying. But, I don't know. It just goes back to this split personality type of mentality that I've really been trying to get out of, and just being authentically me. I've talked, I believe, briefly about this concept of Gemini. I am a Gemini, born at the end of May. And in this coming out of truth, I've thought a lot about this concept, that there are like two versions of me, I guess. There's the black and the white, the light and the dark. I actually wear a black and a white necklace. Very yin-yang. Also very in alignment with Unus Honest and the visualization there. But, like, my personalities, or the way that I identify myself, I guess, is almost put on this, like, spectrum of the very best part of me, closest to God, being on one side of the spectrum, and the very worst part of me, closest to not God, is on the other side. And, like, this is such a vivid concept that has lived in my brain that I name those personalities. I can sell who's talking. I don't actually hear voices. Like, it's not like that. But it's like I can identify who's in control. And I'm not even using those names now because I'm trying to disassociate from that and just be me. It's all part of me. And I realized that the white, or the quote-unquote good personality has caused just as much trouble and as much confusion and as many problems as the quote-unquote bad side, or the dark side of me. And so it's almost been more like, okay, well, the good side is the side that I present to other people, that tells them what they want to hear, that is outwardly facing, very good and upright, and church going, knows all the biblical answers, the prodigal almost, right? This good, clean soul. But that's repressing a lot of who I am, and it's causing a lot of damage. And so this side lies. So is it really good? The other side of me, the darker side, is easily the more flawed in terms of character and development. This is the side that gives in to the porn addiction and feels angry and hurt and depressed. But this is also the creative side of me that has dreams and passions. And that's the side that the other side feels like it has to lie or hide about. I don't know that I'm really getting this thought across very well. I have names for the good and the bad. I have a concept art drawn up for an autobiography that I want to write titled Gemini, that kind of showcases this split of this, the duality of me, I guess, which is also was in the running as a working title. Because it's like I'm two different people, and one is super positive and one is super negative, and it's just very Gemini. And I hate that, by the way. I've never been a star sign, horoscope, I don't know. I don't even know how to say it. I've never been that type of a person, but it feels accurate and appropriate and very true to me. And the problem is that I've been living this secret double life of presenting one and hiding the other. And this half is the half that I showed people, and this half was the half that was repressed but was still very much there, that I could be behind closed doors. That doesn't mean that the bad half was the real me and that the good half wasn't me. It just means that they're both different parts of me. And if I ever want to feel peace and wholeness, then I need to embrace both. And that doesn't mean that I just run headlong into my addiction, right? But to embrace my creativity and to embrace the good that I want to be. So I guess that's who I am. But like, come on, to bring that into a work setting on, I don't know. I apologize that I don't always get a full thought out. Again, that's kind of the point of this, is just to be a place to get my word vomit out. So some of these I post, some of them I don't. Most of them I usually do end up posting, so I'm sure this one will go up. But I'm about to pull up at the gym. Just get some exercise in. But please be sure to like and subscribe. Remember, you will die. So remember to live, remember to love, and remember truth. I will see you in the next one. Peace. What is going on, guys? It's your boy, Novice. It is Friday, and as you may be able to hear, garbage truck is outside, and I just remembered that it's trash day, and I did not take out the trash. So, I'm a little late on that, which is fine, because as one person in this house, I don't go through that much trash, so it can probably wait until next week. It's fine. Yesterday was pretty good in terms of like actually getting everything done on my checklist and avoiding relapse, in spite of feeling very down, discouraged, dejected, stomped on, beat up. Had a good session with my therapist, and then I had a very affirming meditation session this morning, all about basically, like, why are you putting so much worth into what other people think of you? Even if it is tied directly to your job, your income. Like, income is important, for sure, but these are temporary situations. Even in my devotional that I read this morning, it was talking about, like, essentially making sure that you're working for the Lord and work hard in your job. Because of that, you should be working hard, but don't put so much stock and value into that. There's greater purpose for you. So I'm gonna keep doing my best at work, but at the end of the day, I'm gonna focus on me and loving me and not caring so much about what other people think and doing what I believe is going to be best for me and not allowing other people to fill me with doubt on what that is. So I've got some decisions to make as far as my job goes. I think I know which way I'm leaning on some of these things. I also have a time frame in place on some of these decisions. Oh, check this out. I know it's been in the background of some of my videos, but here's it's not a vision board per se. I call it just like a personality board that's got just a bunch of things that are important to me. Pictures, notes from Tiffany, my wife, as well as a lot of my interests. Right next to my Hawaiian shirt collection. This is my little me corner. So I got my Bigfoot. I love the Black Rifle coffee design on the Tactus Squatch. Got the Maui hooks here. Got my, oh God, no, my Rubik's Cube that I'm hanging up there. Some of these stickers. Obviously, a bunch of pictures of my wife up here. It's my little me corner. These are the type of things that I want to lean more into, is just being me, what I love. I love this shirt, by the way. It's better for how much I spent on it. I guess I gotta go. My thing keeps going off for work, but I'm feeling a lot better, focusing on what I want and what's important to me. And that's self-love. My vacuum's gonna make these random appearances. Anyway. Jesus! This is why I don't usually film in here, because you see how quick it is for work to stress me out beyond anything. So, just deep breathing helps a lot, honestly. Like, comment, subscribe, please. Help a brother out. Remember, you will die, so remember to live, remember to love, and remember truth. I will see you in the next one. Peace. What is going on, guys? It's your boy, Novice. Do you hear all this background noise? This is what happens when I decide to start recording on a lazy Saturday after deciding to do the laundry, so you can listen to my washing machine for the entirety of this journal entry. I'm in my almost like long johns looking ass kind of long sleeve. It has been quite a lazy Saturday. Did wash my hair, trim up the beard line. It's grown out pretty well, I think. I'm happy with it. It's the longer that I let it grow, the more that those little patches start to fill in. I've always got a little patch right here. And it's always a little thinner, a little weaker toward the edges of the goatee. There's a little patch here and here, and then there's this big patch here. I'm pretty sure I've talked about all that before, but I'm happy with the overall growth. It's looking healthy. Man, I do this every Saturday where I just get so hungry, and I'm on like this intermittent fast sort of a schedule. It's never a problem during the weekdays, but on the weekends, I don't know why, I always, like, I'm famished right now. So yesterday was I'm so sorry for that. I'm on day 13 right now of my current streak. Which means if I make it all the way through today and all the way through tomorrow, I will have, at the very least, tied my longest streak. I always get real nervous. And I know it's not proven to be the healthiest or most effective way to help when I start counting the days. Yesterday was so difficult for me. I felt so triggered so many times. The withdrawals are hitting so hard right now. And I think one of the only reasons that I didn't give in is because I was holding on to this goal of beating my last streak that I've been doing so well, and I don't want to throw that away. And I'm hoping that after I beat my streak that sort of motivation doesn't wane. Like, I'm hoping that it's not like an internal justification of like, oh, well, I did better than my last streak, so I can treat myself, sort of a thing. I don't know. I would have thought that the withdrawals and the urges and the triggers would be getting better. But it's like the longer that I go without it, the more that I find myself I learned recently that when studying the chakras, and I don't know almost anything about chakras, so I'm not going to pretend to be the expert because I'm the farthest thing from that. But I did learn recently that apparently this chakra, I guess they all have a different location, maybe, but that this one below the belly button in the lower spine, it's called the sacral chakra, I think. And it has to do, please don't quote me on this, guys. This is just my understanding from what I have learned. But it has to do with passion and your internal fire and your drive and your sexuality. So a lot of your sexual energy, but your passions. And so it also is very much what fuels your creativity. And I think that explains a lot. When I was explaining, I think just yesterday or the other day, one of my recent journal entries, that I have these two sides to me, kind of the good, the bad, the light, the dark, whatever, but that I've realized that the very spiritual side of me that tends to be the more upright, the more presentable side of me also represses not only my sexuality and my sexual passion, but it also like represses my creativity. Where the darker side of me that I felt like I had to hide and keep hidden and repress for so long was not only the side of me that gave into my addiction, but it was also the side of me that fueled my creativity. And now I'm starting to, I guess, kind of understand why it seems like that is. And it's because those two things come from the same place. And even if you don't buy into chakras or anything like that, it still makes sense that your sexuality, your sexual drive, and your creativity kind of stem from the same place because it's passion. And god damn, I am a passionate individual. And trying to suppress that has not done me any favors in the past. But I also can't just blindly allow that to control me. And so instead, I need to learn to control it, to accept it, to embrace it, to allow that to be a part of me and who I am, and to not be afraid to express that, but to learn how to control it instead of just letting it control me. And so I want to tap into that more in a healthy way. I haven't created any music in some time. I think part of it is because I just feel like I'm too busy. I've been listening to my own music when I work out, but I haven't created any recently. I want to. Just don't really have any ideas for it. So the creativity is not really there right now. Not to say that I haven't been experiencing any creativity. It's just most of my creativity has been channeled towards... Does this look a little strange? I don't know. I ironically like to think of myself as being... I like fashion. I like style. I just don't really possess a lot of it. But a lot of my creative energy right now has been going towards visualizing and having a lot of fun with visualizing and almost gamifying my journey in overcoming my addiction. And it's this the ultimate quest game that I've talked about before. And it's been a lot of fun recognizing what not only my biggest triggers are, my biggest weaknesses, and identifying how I can effectively work to overcome those things. I've recently conceptualized, you know what I love about having a beard? Is that you can film yourself from a very low and traditionally very unflattering angle. And no one can see the double chin. Because I have a terrible double chin. But you can't see it right now. Just kind of makes my beard look even thicker and fuller, and I don't mind it. I'm sorry, guys. What was I saying? Oh, I recently used ChatGPT. That's the resource I've been using to help me visualize what stress looks like and why it's such a danger, so to speak. I know that stress can be used to get a lot done, but I believe I've already talked about the research that has been shown that for addicts or recovering addicts, that stress can have the opposite response because there's a malfunction in the stress response because of the abuse to the brain that the addiction has caused. So I've got two separate versions, I guess, of how I've visualized stress. And one is as like a slow burn, almost the monkey on your back sort of a thing, where it just gnaws away at you, one little thing at a time, that just it piles up and piles up, and it's just this ever looming, like. And so that is the stress goblin here, this little annoying motherfucker that you just want to punt that little. And it's this little thing, and it's this annoying thing, but it doesn't go away. And if you don't learn how to manage it and how to deal with it when it's this little annoying thing, then if you're not very, very careful, it turns into this really big, really scary thing that you don't know how to deal with. And so I've visualized it as this stress hydra, so to speak, this multi-headed beast, and you start trying to tackle one individual issue at a time with the advice of one thing at a time, and that's all you can do, and slow it down and handle one thing at a time. But for every one thing that you try to handle, it feels like there's a million other things that pop up that just feel so overwhelming. And it feels like too much. And so the idea is that instead of trying to focus on one head or one thing at a time, that you have to focus on the core issues. And that has to do with how you handle things internally rather than the logistics of handling things externally. So being able to take a step back and internally just recompose yourself. I've been focusing a lot on a lot of breath work. It's helped. And just grounding yourself to reality, the things to be thankful and grateful for, despite it. The issues themselves may not go away, but the way that you handle everything. And I hope this makes sense. A lot of the time I turn this camera on and I just ramble. And that helps me. I'm not some guru of wisdom. I don't have the answers. I'm just figuring out what works best for me, keep me from going into the darkness. I have noticed a pattern, and this was really not even intentional, but in a lot of the artwork that I'm designing, there's this visual theme or pattern that keeps coming up over and over again, which is fighting off the darkness and embracing the light. Because you can't turn off the darkness. You have to almost burn it out. Light up the darkness. There's a passionate, raging inferno inside me that I need to learn how to control. Because there's a difference between a roaring bonfire that provides heat and warmth and light and is a beacon or a pillar to others. There's a difference between that and an out-of-control forest fire that consumes everything. And there's a difference between that raging bonfire that has a purpose and has direction, and a single match or a candle that you try to hide or try to cover up, and that gets suffocated and it goes out. Does the metaphor land? Does it make sense? I don't know. I gotta eat something because I can't focus on a dang thing right now because I'm so hungry. But just still trying to maintain these consistent habits. I love this painting, by the way. I need to figure out who the artist is. I apologize for the terrible camera angles there, but I want to figure out who the artist is so I can give credit. I love, 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 love that painting. I gotta put this thing away because I gotta get some food. I'm just trying not to, once again, feel stupid triggered today. Whew, okay. Hopefully y'all are still with me on this, but like, comment, subscribe, you know. Remember, you will die. So remember to live, remember to love, and remember truth. I will see you in the next video. Peace. What is going on, guys? Novice Nation. It's your boy, Novice. It is a lazy Sunday. The laziest Sunday that I have taken in some... Y'all see this? What the hell is that? All this shit in my hair. Has it been there all day? Lazy Sunday. I did get the willpower, the energy with my wife to go to the gym and do a quick cardio workout. Jesus. I feel like I look super bloated right now. I apologize. But we did a quick cardio circuit on the treadmills, and I actually did 1 mile in 7 minutes and 1 second, which, to my knowledge, is actually a personal best for me. And I felt like I was dying afterwards, but not as badly as I have felt that I was dying after doing cardio workouts before. And I know that, like my pink blanket, I'm secure in my masculinity. I know that there's nothing specific about how fast you can run a mile. That doesn't inherently say anything about your cardiovascular endurance per se, but I've had a goal in my mind for like the last 5 years or so that I want to be able to run a 6-minute mile, and to be able to get it down to a 7-minute mile-ish, I feel really good about. I cannot possibly imagine cutting an extra minute off of that time. That seems wild. Because I've bumped the treadmill up to 10 miles an hour before, and that's what you'd have to be running at for the entire mile to do a 6-minute mile. And for me, that is a dead sprint. So I don't really know what sort of training I would have to do to guarantee or to get to that point, but not at that point yet. That being said, my wife pointed out, she made a good point today. She said that your body can do a lot more than you think it can. It's your mind that needs convincing. I think she's got a really good point. I did some singing practice a little bit earlier today. Felt good about it while I was recording it, and I listened back to it, and Oh boy. So let me know what you guys thought, how you feel that I did. Be kind. I know, you know how everybody sounds different in their own head. Everybody sounds different to themselves, and then you hear yourself on a recording, you're like, that's not what I sound like. And it sounds weird to you. That's how singing is for me, and I imagine for a lot of people as well, if you're just not used to listening to yourself singing on a recording. But in my own head, in my own ear, guys, I promise I sound so much better than that. What else? Really liking how the progress is going on the Ultimate Quest. I'm finding myself at a point of like almost being afraid of running out of things to visualize and design, because this has been a creative project for me. And when it's done, then what? But today marks 14 days clean, which means if and when I make it all the way through today and all the way through tomorrow, I will have, by the end of the day today, I will have officially matched my best streak. By the end of the day tomorrow, I will have officially beaten my best streak. So I'm making good progress. I gotta go because my wife's blowing me up right now. She's like, why are you not answering your phone? And she just wants to make sure that I'm still alive. So I'm gonna respond to her. But please like, comment, subscribe. Join me on this journey. Let me know how you're going in your progress. Remember, you will die. So remember to live, remember to love, and remember truth. I will see you in the next one. Peace. What is going on, guys? It's your boy, Novice. These are not the type of videos that I like making, and so I'm trying to be a little bit better in how I go about addressing this and moving forward. I don't have all my thoughts organized, so if I have to chop this up and edit out a lot of the dead air, then y'all won't ever know. I've been on a really, really good streak, really strong streak. I'm also always very aware of the dangers of putting all of your stock and encouragement into the actual number of that streak. I beat my personal best. I made it to 16 days. The last few days in that, I could tell that something was going on for me. Something was happening in my brain. I was really, really struggling. I was getting really, really triggered. I was feeling the withdrawals hard and having a hard time following my game plan, my offensive plan to handle those things. And what I think I allowed to happen was that I technically pushed through and technically succeeded in staying clean without following all of my steps and my game plans. And so it created excuses or justifications or allowances to not continue staying on those plans. Really what happened was I got off routine. That's it, guys. I got off of routine. I allowed myself to get off of my daily routine of what had been working because it was the weekend and because I was spending the whole day with my wife. So I should be okay in not following every step of the routine. It's okay if I don't pray or do my devotional or film a journal entry. It's okay if I don't do these things because time management is a little bit different because it's a weekend. I have a day off that I'm spending with somebody that I love. So I'll be okay. I'll be all right. That's where it starts. And then you start making other allowances and other justifications and other slips. So, as far as a streak, I'm reset. And I hate to say that, but I'm trying not to be so hard on myself about it. I haven't felt the depressive crash yet that I almost always do. We'll see. So what I'm actively trying to do now is make sure that I get back to my routines so that I can make sure that one slip, one reset doesn't erase all of my progress. Prior to today, I'd been at 80% victories for the month. That's big. One day is going to set that back a little bit. It doesn't erase all of it. I'm not back down to a 50-50, but I have to make sure that I don't allow this, create allowances and justifications that turn this into something worse, which means I'm identifying how I let it happen. Oh, and by the way, the easy how is that I allowed these justifications. One thoughts are going to be there, but do you act on those thoughts? One thought that technically starts out as innocent or technically starts out as harmless, it's technically not relapsing, it's technically not giving into the addiction. But I've noticed an undeniable pattern, which is that when I give into those thoughts of what's technically okay, I always go over the edge. And when I don't give into those thoughts and never open that can of worms to begin with, I don't go over the edge. So I got to make sure I'm not doing that. But that resistance and that resilience comes from sticking to the game plan. Following the actual see, this is why I hate it too, because I get this brain fog. It's a direct result. Following the routine that I have, because I know it works when I follow it. So that's what I got to do. So that means journal entry, check. I got it done today. And I hadn't done that the last few days. Was telling myself that it was okay because I hadn't slipped, and then I did slip. So gotta just go back to the basics. You can do this, but you gotta do what works. Remember, you will die, so remember to live, remember to love, and remember truth. I will see you in the next video. Peace. What is going on, guys? It's your boy, Novice. I have such low energy right now, and I'm trying to bring it back up. I talked about my my relapse, which was yesterday morning, and trying to view things differently and not let myself get sucked into a downward spiral. And I'm happy to say that I haven't allowed that to happen just yet. Having a really hard time finding any energy or motivation to do anything today. That's partly because I'm kind of dealing with a medical condition right now that makes it so that I really can't be very active. And that's tough because I want to be active, or I want to, but it's really easy to use this thing is, okay, I need to let my body heal, so I really can't get up and do much. But I want to give a huge shout out to Jordan Ridley, more commonly known or popularly known on the internet as Poppet One from The Underdogs. And I don't want to say that he made a video just for me, but he kind of did in a weird way. He's got his own channel, which is a smaller channel, and I say smaller because compared to my channel, it's massive, because he's actually a content creator. It's what he does for his job, but he's got his personal channel where he posts some more thought-provoking and motivational videos. And he will ask people to ask him questions for these videos. And so I just asked. I said, how do you, because Jordan, I know that you have said in some of your videos that you've stopped watching porn. And for somebody who's dealing with a porn addiction, how did you do that? And what did that look like for you? And what advice would you give to somebody who's trying to do the same thing? And this morning I woke up and he had posted a video and actually responded to my question. And I don't want to say that it's directly to me, but a little humble brag, little flex. I did have the top comment on the video before that where I had asked this question, and then the next video that he made was specifically about addiction. And he didn't mention porn addiction specifically. He had to keep it YouTube friendly for monetization, and I understand that, and I respect that. But the fact that he took the time to actually respond, not just in a comment, but to actually make a video talking about it, I don't know. I just think that's a big thing. And he didn't mention me specifically, and I didn't want him to. But the fact that he responded, I see that as a big deal. His advice is similar to advice that I have heard, and it has to do with emotional regulation. And he took it a step further and talked about retraining your brain and how you respond to impulsive decisions, and training your brain to respond differently to small impulsive decisions, like what do you want to watch, or where do you want to eat, what do you want to wear, what do you want to go do. And instead of always going with the most impulsive decision, what your brain wants most, make a conscious effort to still do something that you like or what you want. But what if you took the time to reflect on doing the second option, your second favorite movie, or your second favorite dish that you're ordering off the menu, and you're still treating your brain to something that it enjoys, but you're also training it to have restraint. And it's not always about just getting the quick, what your brain thinks that it wants. And that way, when you're up against, and these were his words, the level 100 boss, and I like that. That fits very much in the theme of the Ultimate Quest RPG style game that I've turned this journey and this addiction into. I went up against that level 100 boss first thing on Monday, yesterday, and I didn't win because I wasn't properly prepared, because I hadn't been staying in my habits and my routines. So I like that idea and that philosophy, and I'm going to try adding that to what I'm doing right now. But I feel good about where I'm at. I got to run because I'm still at work and things are crazy right now. So the stress is high, but working on training my brain to responding to that differently. So please like, comment, subscribe. Remember, you will die. So remember to live, remember to love, and remember truth. I will see you in the next video. Peace. What is Going on, guys? It's your boy, Novice. It's been a day or two since I recorded a session here. My neighbors, I'm gonna move up out of the front window because my neighbor was sitting there moving some stuff in his truck. Beard is coming in nicely. I've almost got a little, almost Cooper Cup looking look going on right now. I apologize, guys. My brain fog is off the charts right now. So I had my relapse the other day, and then I had a good day, and then I had a really, really, really bad day. That was yesterday. I just stopped caring. I didn't do anything that was on my daily checklist, my patterns that I needed to stay in the right habits of. I thought about it. I knew it was what I should have done, and I just didn't. I didn't care. I didn't care about the consequences. I was tired. I was stressed. Money is a huge stressor right now. So I did everything wrong. So I know what works when I do it. That's the trick, is actually doing it. I also know that my brain works in patterns, and I may have even talked about this before. When the very first thought enters into your brain, the first thought of anything that's going to lead down the direction or the path of relapse, it's usually not a thought of, oh, I really want to look at porn right now. It's usually not how it works. It's usually just some sort of fleeting, random thought of something that your brain starts to justify as innocent. Oh, it's not porn, so there's nothing wrong with me looking up XYZ. It's a big part of why I don't have any social media, because it's the not porn that is all over social media that is usually what triggers these sort of thoughts. And it's a very slippery slope, because you tell yourself that because it's not porn and that it's technically okay and it's technically innocent, that there's nothing wrong with you looking up that one thing. But without fail, every time that I have given into that first thought, it inevitably leads to relapse of some sort or another. Every time. So when I'm able to say no or redirect at that point in time, the triggers and the withdrawal symptoms, they hit just as hard, and it feels just as difficult. But when I can get through that first thought and not give in and look up something at that point in time, but instead redirect, then I always get through and have a clean day. But if I ever give in, oh, it's not porn, it's not the same thing, I'll be okay, anytime I take that route, I ultimately end up relapsing. So I know how to do this thing. but I didn't. I was coming off of my newest best streak of 16 days, so that's awesome. But what I really can't afford to do is to allow continuative downward spiraling behavior. Right now, over 70% of my days this month have been good days or clean days, and I want to end the month at that or higher. So I have not really been feeling any better. I'm physically somewhat injured right now, so I can't work out, and that's discouraging and dejecting. But I can do everything else on my checklist, and so I want to focus on that. Part of that is a journal entry, a video journal. It's been a while since I've actually edited and uploaded a video, so I want to get one of those up today, maybe two if I can. I'm so unbelievably stressed out about money right now. I'm just trying to survive one day to the next. So that's all I got. Be sure to like and subscribe, comment down below. Remember, you will die. So remember to live, remember to love, and remember truth. I will see you in the next one. Peace. Good morning. What is going on, guys? It's your boy, Novice. I am all hooked up, decked out, ready for game day. Chiefs are playing the Jags, I think, on Monday Night Football. I'm ready for it. It's been a while. I have taken probably a week or more off. And as far as what it is that I've been doing, it's been whatever I want, really. I have this weird correlation in my brain where the more supported I feel, the better I do. And that's not the weird part. I think that part is pretty normal, that people tend to feel happier and do better overall in their lives when they feel supported. But so the more supported I feel, the better I typically am doing. But conversely, the less supported I feel, the more judged or pushed back on, or the more that I feel that I'm trying to be forced into a box or told that I have to do something, the more that I'm going to push back on it, and the less that I'm going to want to do it. So I'm not blaming anybody else by any means. This is my problem. I didn't feel actually supported at all this last week by really anybody. And I was really, really, really tired of just feeling the guilt and the shame and the regret, feeling like I'm disappointing people and letting people down. And so I stopped caring. And I took about a week to say, what if I stopped trying so hard for other people and what they want to see and what they expect out of me, and I just did what I want to do. And I didn't get a lot done because I didn't want to. I ate a lot of junk food, a lot of candy, when I was eating. I got down to 164, which is the lightest I've been probably since I was 20 years old. It's crazy. Haven't been working out. That's partially because I'm dealing with a sensitive medical issue that I don't feel like fully explaining here, but can't put a lot of strain on my body currently, so can't work out. My biggest and only regret in this, really, truthfully, is that there were a couple instances where I lied to people who were checking in on me. And I want to be very careful with that, because I don't want to just get back to being a liar and a people pleaser. So anyway, I did that for a week, and if I need to draw the line, that means that no, I've not made very much or any progress in my addiction recovery, at least not over the last week. So, I did that. I got it out of my system, and I don't feel bad about it. The only thing I feel bad about is lying to people. I know accountability is important. What's frustrating is that I've now decided to share this with so many people in my life. Just about anybody who's in my life now knows about my addiction. And they want to be supportive, which I appreciate, but oftentimes the support does not come across as supportive, and more just feels like I'm being put in a box and told what's right and what's wrong. And I guess in a way, part of me is still trying to figure out what I believe is right and wrong. I believe that addiction itself is a bad thing, or a harmful thing, especially when it hurts other people. And that is one of the biggest problems of this particular addiction, is that it has led me to hurt other people. And that's a problem. Anything that detaches you permanently from reality, that pulls you away from real world responsibilities and healthy ways to live life and spend your time, it's probably not good. And so I recognize that it is an issue, but I also wonder about a life where I might regret filming this entire thing, to be honest. But I wonder about a life where instead of trying to quit porn altogether and lock it away in this box that I've demonized, if I instead just stop caring about it, go out, live life, have a healthy and productive life, and spend time with people and do things that I actually want to be doing instead, but stop looking at it as some forbidden fruit that I can't have, and instead indulge when I want to within healthy boundaries. Would that be the worst thing in the world? I don't know. Right now, the biggest major problem with that is my relationship and my partner, who does not see eye to eye on that. And I don't think it's fair to expect her to. I can't ask somebody else to change what they believe for me. So it just makes me really nervous and really fearful on what any sort of future together could realistically look like if I can't or don't beat this addiction? And that's probably the scariest part for me right now. Because time and history has proven that, like, when I don't feel like it's off limits, when I don't feel like I'm being restricted to not be able to do it, like, I tend not to indulge as much, as opposed to where I'm actively, aggressively trying to kick the habit. Anyway, I got to run back to work, but I'm trying to get back into things this week. I'm not going to kill myself trying to force myself into doing all these things every day, but I do want to make sure that there's balance all the way around, that I am doing things that are healthy and productive, and generally I actually enjoy doing. So that's why I'm back into filming. I'm going to try to get something also edited and uploaded today as well. With that being said, be sure to like, comment, subscribe. Remember, you will die. So remember to live, remember to love, and remember truth. I will see you in the next video. Go Chiefs. Peace. I'm tired. I'm tired of going through the same cycles over and over and over again. I'm tired of trying to be something else for everybody else. I'm tired of trying to force myself to be the person that I think other people want me to be. Tired of trying to look good for other people. Trying to make other people happy. And I just don't know how long I can keep doing this. Going through these cycles of realizing that I need to break through and be me, and to stop letting other people dictate what I think and what I want out of my life. Every time I've made any sort of a drastic change in my life, it's been with the attempt of trying to wake up and be real and be honest. And every single time, I just find myself going back to trying to prove that I'm making progress. Trying to show other people that I'm doing well, or doing what I think they expect of me. And I'm tired of it. I'm tired of trying to say the right thing and worried about it coming out wrong. I don't want to hurt people's feelings, but I'm tired of caring about it. I'm tired of being afraid of being judged for being something different than what people want me to be. I don't know what I want. I don't know who I am. I don't know. I don't even know if I want to get better. I've talked about this before. And there are some days where I really just don't want to, because I don't care. And I think part of that is the realization that so much of this, my motivations for trying to overcome this addiction, have to do with the fact that it's largely because I know that the people in my life that say that they love me, and I'm not saying that they don't love me, but it's because they want me to get better. And I don't feel supported in that almost at all. Just don't want to disappoint. But I don't know what I want. I want to be with somebody who actually loves and supports me, like really loves and supports me. I want to be with somebody who adores me. Somebody who sees my struggles and my faults and my shortcomings and wants to be with me wholeheartedly anyway, and instead will open their arms wide and their heart will break for me and say, I'm so sorry that you're going through that. I'm so sorry that you're feeling that. I'm so sorry that you've been through that. And I think you're so strong for getting through all of that. And I don't blame you, and I don't judge you. I just love you. I don't feel that. My wife wants me to be what she wants. She wants somebody who's faithful and pure. I want that too. But there's so much poison in here. I've been through so much shit, and we don't see eye to eye on what that means to be faithful. I want somebody who will see and understand me and support me in spite of everything that I've been through. And I don't think she can do that with the differences that we see in this thing. And I don't think she can, I don't think I can be who she needs me to be. I don't want to separate. I'm terrified of losing, or I'm terrified of being alone. But I don't know what this looks like in a healthy way. I don't see that happening. I don't see us getting to that point. To a point where I can genuinely, purely, wholly, authentically just be me without giving a shit about what somebody else is going to think. I want to be able to watch what I want to watch. I want to be able to play the games that I want to play. I want to be able to talk to the people that I want to talk to. I want to be able to express an opinion or a belief without feeling fear of judgment. I want to be able to express doubts about belief without somebody telling me that I have lost my soul. I want to be able to express desires or things that excite me without being told that I'm a freak or whatever. Or I just wish that I didn't care. I don't know. I know that I have this poison in my mind. And most of the time, I wish it wasn't there. And the rest of the time, I just don't give a shit. And I don't want to give a shit. And so I want to find somebody who can feel the same way. Somebody who doesn't care. Somebody who is just frankly unbothered by these things. And says, you know what? There are worse things that are out there. There are worse traits about a human being. And I see the nature of your heart and that you're actually a good fucking person who is trying your best. And I love that. And I could give a shit less about what turns you on or what you're watching. That doesn't make... I hate that I can't even really talk about this, even to myself. I want so badly to just stop caring. I worry that I don't have any real discipline, conviction, willpower, morals or ethics. I don't know. Which feels so ridiculous to me because I know how different I am from so many people. And I'm not trying to say that I think that I'm better than anybody, because that is absolutely not the case. But like, I don't do anything. I try to be a kind and loving person to anybody and everybody that I meet, to meet people with open minds. And I'm just so tired of feeling so judged and so condemned and so hated. Especially by the people who claim to love me the most. By the people who preach Christian messaging. I'm keenly aware and familiar with the ideology of what that is supposed to look like, and I don't feel that. from really anybody. I don't know what I believe. I have no motivation right now to do anything. Anything. All I want to do all day is watch YouTube and eat junk food and watch porn and just not think. I just don't want to think anymore. And all of those things have everything to do with just turning my brain off and not dealing with anything. It's escapism. I know that. And it's all a matter of really no discipline. I've proven to myself that I'm capable of forcing myself to have discipline for a set period of time and jumping head first and going balls to the wall and going all in on one thing for a little bit of time. But I've never in my life proven that I actually have what it takes to stick with anything. Outside of my marriage, my relationship, which has been horrifically unhealthy in so many ways. We've hurt each other so much. We're staying together because we love each other and because it's what is safe and comfortable. Not because it's what's actually best for either of us. She doesn't know me. And I don't know that I really know her. I can't express how I feel about anything, what I want about anything. There's nobody in my life who actually gets me or understands me or even knows me really at all. And I'm so introverted and isolated and painted into a corner that I don't feel that I could expand my social circle even if I wanted to. I'm so sick of making decisions and feeling like I've made the wrong ones. I'm so sick of putting my head down and trying so hard to get my life back on track just to feel like I'm failing so miserably. If I could just stop giving a shit, stop caring about doing things the way that I think other people think that I should, and instead I just say fuck it and do things the way that I want to do them, would I be able to find and surround myself with people who are loving and supportive of who I actually am? My wife looks at me like I'm a cheating pervert, and my family looks at me like I'm a lost soul. My supervisor looks at me like I'm a failed experiment. Couldn't live up to the challenge or expectation. And those are the only people that I really have in my life. I don't know what I need. But I want to feel loved, and I want to feel seen, and I want to feel understood. And I don't know how to make that happen. And I'm sick of lying. But I'm sick of disappointing people. I don't know. I'm sorry, I don't have more. What is going on, guys? It's your boy, Novice. It's been a while. As you can tell by the growth of my beard, it's been a hot minute since I've recorded anything. I have not been posting, editing, uploading. It's easy for me to say that that's just because nobody's been watching. I've just had zero drive or motivation. I have finally gotten back to the point of feeling creative enough and inspired enough to start making music again, which I really enjoy. As mentioned in the last video, if I posted that at all, I have really just stopped putting pressure on myself to meet the expectations that other people have of me. For better or for worse. It sucks though, because I am a lot more isolated right now. And look, my beard is thick enough that I can almost sit like this without the light shining through. Almost. Almost. I want to be able to just be me and not give a shit about what other people think. And that's so much easier said than done, because I also want to be liked. I want people to like me. I want people to want to be around me. I want people to not think that I'm a horrible person. And I don't feel like a horrible person. But there's a rainbow outside right now. But I feel that with the expectations that people have of me, if I show that I'm unwilling or unable to reach those expectations, then that must be because I'm a bad person or a less than virtuous person. And I don't know, I think a lot of where all this struggle comes from is my religious upbringing very much clashing with my addiction, and I have stopped trying to force myself to stop indulging in my addiction. I had to create some clear boundaries in my mind and in my life to make sure that I wasn't just throwing my whole life away by indulging. And I feel like that's where a lot of the real danger of addiction comes from. If you're losing all of your time or all of your money or all of the people that you love because of it, then that's seriously an issue. And time and money hasn't been a problem with this addiction, but losing the people that I love is absolutely an issue. So I don't know what to do. At the point where I'm recording videos just to get my thoughts out, because I think that's a good thing to do, rather than planning on posting anything. So I don't know if any of these will ever end up being posted. Maybe. Obviously, if you're watching this, then that was the case. But I'm just mostly drifting from one day to the next, trying to survive and trying not to get so anxious and stressed out, because I'm tired of feeling that way. I want to go back to the gym, but I don't feel like I have any time to do that. I can only wake up so early, and there's stuff that needs to be done at the end of the day. Finances are so unbelievably tight right now. I've tried to make some changes that would allow that to change, and every time I try to make those changes, it feels like life just pushes back and says, nope, you have to stay in the exact situation that you're in. So I just feel stuck. Trying to decide what I think of the beard. I've grown it out like this a couple times before. This might be close to the longest that it's ever been. I don't hate it, but I don't love it either. We've got about half a month, 2 or 3 weeks left, and then I'm just gonna cut it all off again because I liked it better shorter, I think. Anyway, if this does go up as a video, then I guess I'll keep it in a video format, so be sure to like and subscribe. If you're going through something like this, you're not alone. Life sucks. Shit's hard. Remember, you will die. So remember to live, remember to love, and remember truth. I will see you in the next video. Peace. Good morning, good afternoon, Novice Nation. It's your boy, Novice. Beard's coming in nice. It's just funny because I have about a week or 2 left with it, and then it's gone. Because it's just driving me a little too crazy. Got a coffee shirt. Shout out Black Rifle Company. I've just been doing a lot of reflecting and a lot of thinking. About authenticity. I want to be me, but I don't know what that looks like or who that is. I don't know. I guess I didn't have as much to say as I thought. I obviously haven't been recording consistently, certainly haven't been uploading consistently. I felt pretty demotivated to do much of anything. Some of that is financial constraints. Really not in a good place financially right now, and so it's harder to be able to do some of the things that I want to be doing. It's really easy to just come up with excuses, though. want to feel seen and loved and understood. And I want to be with somebody that I can authentically be myself with, without feeling like I have to pretend or lie, but also without feeling like I need to change who I am to meet their expectations. And I want that person to be the person that I'm with right now. I'm very afraid that that might not be possible. And I'm very afraid about what that means for me in my life, and her life, and our life that we want to have together. But I'm so tired of feeling like I'm hurting or disappointing other people, and I'm so tired of not feeling like who I am genuinely. I'm tired of feeling like that's not good enough for other people. My therapist shared an expression with me that you can't burn yourself, or you can't light yourself on fire trying to keep other people warm. And in a lot of ways, it feels like that's what I'm doing. I haven't really been allowing myself to feel anything. The last few weeks, I finally, just over the last couple of days, got back into making music, and I really enjoy what I've been making and creating, but it is opening things back up to be a lot more raw and a lot more painful than I was ready to get into. I don't know what I want. I don't know what I want to do with my life. I don't know what I want out of life. I feel like I am probably a very selfish person, and probably a very lazy person. I quit everything that I tend to start. I find it very hard to stay motivated and inspired to do anything that I start doing. I'm more likely to keep doing something out of obligation rather than doing something because it's what I want to do. If I do start doing something that I genuinely want to do, then once I've started it and I've started doing it, then I'm like, okay, well, I did that, and then I stop because I no longer have the drive or the desire to do it, I guess. I spent so long doing my hair this morning, and I just can't stop messing with it. Because it's at this like transition length where it's a little too long to just be frontward facing, but it's a little too short to really put back, because it doesn't tend to want to stay going backwards. That's why I had the hat on. I just want to be loved for me. And I think think that's pretty impossible right now because nobody knows me. Because I don't know me. I'm so socially isolated, but the idea of changing that is terrifying to me. The idea of how that would affect my relationship with my spouse is terrifying to me. There's a book that I was encouraged to read. Last time I actually did take a recommendation and read a book that somebody recommended. It was a good book, and I feel like I got something out of it. The book, Super Communicators. I don't feel like I'm actually any better at communicating with people after reading it, but it was a good book to read. So maybe I should read this book as well. I don't remember exactly what it's called, but something to do with getting out of the fog, F-O-G, and the concept of that being, it's another acronym, understanding or reflecting on why you're doing what you're doing and pushing yourself to stop doing things out of fear, obligation, or guilt. And I feel like that's everything that I do is either out of fear of how I'm going to be viewed, or obligation, or guilt. So I don't know how to step out of that. I don't know how to do anything just for me because it's what I want. I keep losing weight. I don't know if that really translates. I've had a harder time working out, so I'm losing mass, and I haven't really been eating healthy, so I'm down to about 167. I don't know. I just don't know what I want. But I wanted to get my thoughts out. I want to feel like I'm able to actually start living my own life. I don't feel like I have that ability just yet. And I think a lot of that is because of limitations that I'm putting on myself out of fear or obligation or guilt. So I want to change that. I want to fix that, but I don't know how. I don't know if I'm gonna, I know I say this every time I've been filming something. I don't know if I'm gonna upload this or not, but if I do, help a brother out, like, comment, subscribe. Remember, you will die, so remember to live, remember to love, and remember truth. I will see you in the next one. Peace. All right. I hope you guys enjoyed that. If you want to see more, please remember to subscribe, comment down below what you thought. Again, I don't know exactly what I said in those videos. Hopefully it wasn't too wild, but I gotta go. So remember, you will die. So remember to live, remember to love, and remember truth. I will see you in the next video. Peace.